Welcome to Eagle Cap Outdoors. Thanks for tuning back in on the channel. I'm Chris, and then I'm here with Ted, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you want to do to plan your archery elk hunt or elk hunt in general. So things you want to think about. Yeah. For me, when I started to archery elk hunt, it was in 1999, I think, is when I really got into it. I did it before, but I got into it heavy then. And I ran into somebody and they talked to me about putting in multiple states. And I was like, how do you do that? And what's your objective? So I wanted to hunt. I also wanted to hunt big bulls. So for me, that was my stepping stone, is just trying to figure out how to enter elk hunts in other states.
So if you're brand new to elk hunting and you want to make sure you get a hunt, the first year you're going to elk hunt, can you make sure?
Well, yes, if you have an objective. So for me, it was I wanted to hunt. And I wanted to hunt every year. So I put in for a lot of states. So I opened a spreadsheet and started filling out what states I want to go to. What do I want to hunt? Do I want to hunt big bulls only, or do I want to hunt and hunt? So I decided that I would just go into like some of the key states like Utah, and that would be my golden state where I'm looking for big giant bulls only. And I've been entering that draw for 17 years and I haven't got it yet because the area that I want, it's a random tag for non-resident, and there's only one tag. You can buy a tag in that unit if you want to spend, I don't know, I think it's $30,000, $40,000 to get that tag. So that's kind of, and then you just like figure out other states. Some states are over the counter, right? Some states, you know, they have a draw system, but they're relatively easy to get the tag.
So are there, what states, there's like 10 states that you can hunt elk in. Probably more, but there's more, 10 primary states, mostly on the, from Colorado west. Of those 10, are there 2 or 3 that are easier to get a tag?
Like New Mexico is one that I love to hunt, and it's not really easy to get the tag, but there's ways that you can manipulate the system, not manipulate because I put it in there on purpose, but you're using the guided outfitter pool to help. And there are units in that state that you can hunt. You hunted in one of the units that you can get a tag pretty simply by going there.
Yeah.
Was it easy?
It was very easy because I paid for a tag.
Well, I'm thinking about the tag that you were like,
oh, the next
this one? Is like a goat tag. This is a goat tag.
Oh, that one was easier, but it was a super hard hunt. Yeah. And, actually, had I been willing to shoot a cow, I probably would have harvested that year, but I was going for a bull, and but I got the tag. I mean, I basically had the opportunity.
So another way to think about it is like, there's tags that are hard to get, and you ask, are there states where you can get a tag? You can get a tag in Colorado. You used to have over the counter for archery, elk. No longer. You can still get the tag. You just have to put in for a specific area, because they're still going to give the tags away, but they need to have you put in for a specific area. Now, there's over-the-counter tags in like Idaho. There's still some areas, and there's the over-the-counter in Utah. There's over-the-counter in Oregon, I think, still.
What does over-the-counter mean?
It means that I can go online or to a licensed dealer and get a tag. Simple. Now, Oregon, the west coast of Oregon, you're going to hunt Roosevelt elk. I've done it a few times. Not my favorite type of hunt, so I avoid doing it because I don't want to crawl on my hands and knees, and I don't want to get super wet, and so I basically decide every year I put in I think to 10 is what I have, 10 tags. And I go from easy to draw to hard to draw. And like I said earlier, hard to draw for me is Utah. never drawn it. Nevada, hard to draw, never drawn it. But you remember the first year you put in with me?
Yeah, I'll never forget that. So just by way of background, I had been hunting a long time ago archery elk, and back then as a teenager in Oregon, I got a tag every year because there wasn't a draw system.
Right.
And then I hunted rifle for many years, and I rifle hunted in Oregon. And if I could, we always had a backup plan. If we couldn't draw the unit we wanted, and I wasn't putting in anywhere else. If we didn't draw that unit we wanted, I would do a spike only hunt. And so I was able to hunt elk every year because I had the spike only fallback, and it was an easy tag to get.
Right.
Then come along and since I started hunting with Chris, the first year, I was coordinating with him, and we decided to go into Wyoming, random tag. I think we had a 3% chance.
Somewhere there. I think it's like 1.78%.
Maybe, yes. It's pretty low probability, and I just figured that would be, we'll put in a few years and we'll get more points. Well, we drew it random, and what an amazing way to get back into archery elk hunting. Since then, hunting with you and John, I've learned to, let's go into 7 or 8 different states, put in, anticipating I've got to build a point. I have to build points in some of these states to ultimately get a hunt. But if you're putting in for 8 different states, eventually you're going to get those hunts. And at any given time, we can strategize about our fallback hunt to know that we always have a hunt, and we don't have to, and it can be a decent hunt. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you could do a cow hunt, but if you don't want to do a cow hunt, you could still get a good bull tag.
So it all boils down to what your objective is, right? That's how I started. It's like, what's your objective? That it all comes back to that. So deciding if you want to hunt, you can put in for a random tag. Like, 2 years ago, John and I put in for Arizona. It was our 9th year of putting in, and we drew a tag that should have taken us 16 points. And we drew it, and yeah, it was a good hunt. It was fun, different, way different than what I expected. But there's a lot to it. So some of the states I want to say is it's important to know is like there's lottery systems, point-based systems like Idaho. There's no points. New Mexico, there's no preference points. So states that have point systems, they can get really carried away with the point system. Oregon is one of those. 23 points maybe for a resident to get a top tier unit there, maybe. So
we have just scratched the surface on this topic. I mean, there's a lot to it, and I'm sure people watching this video have a ton of questions. So, if they have questions, what do you recommend?
Ask us questions, write comments, post. You can go look at Eagle Cap Outdoors. You can reach out to us through Eagle Cap Outdoors. Watch our content. We do other stuff on there, but just ask us questions.
Yeah, I'd say email us and or comment, and we'll respond to the comments.
Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, ask us questions. Again, we'll catch you later.